Hey kids, how are y'all doing? Please add today's date for our new notes. This is our first tutorial. Today's notes are called Comparing Decimals. So we're going to be seeing how we can see which decimal is greater or less. En español les voy a decir que hoy vamos a estar comparando decimales. Comparando es cuando estamos viendo cuál decimal está más grande. You may pause it if you need to copy. Okay, we're here now on our next open page, and we'll put the title of our lesson, which is Comparing Decimals. Today's date, and then we'll begin. Every time we compare decimals, there's basically two strategies. The first strategy is to compare them using a place value chart. When you see decimals written, you'll also be noticing that they're just like that hungry alligator. When you had to compare using greater than, less than, or equal to. So we're going to be comparing 5 and 21 hundredths compared to 5 and 6 tenths. So let's write that down. At any time, of course, you may pause. Okay, so I'm going to put that in a big oval. And now I'm going to say it in Spanish. Lo vamos a estar comparando usando los símbolos que significan mayor que, menor que o igual. Estos tres símbolos los usamos cuando están comparando. Este es el primer número, 5 y 21 centésimas. ¿Y cuál es más grande? ¿Esto o 5 y 6 décimas? Lo vamos a estar dos estrategias. La primera es, the first one is to use a place value chart. So first of all, I'm going to show it using a place value chart. In my place value chart, I always begin how? I begin with the decimal. To the left of my decimal is the ones place. To the right of my decimal is the tenths place. Then I can start forming my chart. I'm going to make an extra long chart today called a stacked chart. So then I'm going to make the second place value. After is the tens, and of course it could keep going to the hundreds, but today, since I only have these numbers, I'm going to keep it here. I'm also going to go to the hundredths place because I do have a digit in the hundredths place. There's my decimal stack chart. So I'm also going to just write this here so that you can know that this is called a stack chart. Decimal stack chart. And we call it a stack because it's stacked one on top of another. So now I'm going to put my first decimal into the place value chart. So it's 5 and 21 hundredths. And then I'm going to draw a nice little dotted line. And I'm going to stack my next decimal, which is 5 and 6 tenths. I can also fill in any zeros if I want to, just so that the digits are equal. What am I going to do now? I'm going to start comparing one by one. So we have to start in the largest place value. So I'm going to put that there. Begin in the largest place value, which in this case is my, the ones place. So right here, 5 ones, 5 ones. Those are the same. So we need to keep going. Let's look at 2/10 or 6/10. Right away, which one is greater? 6/10. So I am going to circle it, and then I'm going to write my answer. 5 and 21/100 is actually greater than or less than. Well, look, this one's greater, so this one must be less. So the less than sign is this way. Is less than 5 and 6/10. If you try to remember from when we were small, we used to call this the hungry alligator. He wants to eat the biggest number. So there he is with his teeth open. Some kids even draw little teeth. He wants to eat the biggest number. En español ahora voy a explicar. Siempre tenemos que empezar en el lugar que tiene más valor. Tenemos que empezar comparando en el lugar que tiene más valor. Y puedes ver aquí que el lugar de las unidades, el ones, tiene más valor porque son números enteros aquí. Después fuimos a de los décimas y vimos que aquí es más grande. Por eso lo encerramos en un círculo. Y después escribimos la oración ecuación. Aquí dice que esto es menor que este número, porque si este es mayor, bueno, entonces esto es menor. So, 5 and 21/100 es menor. En inglés decimos is less than. I'm going to actually add those there so we can remember. This one's greater, this one's less, and this one's equal. So those are the three things that we're going to compare. There's another way to compare as well. The next way to compare is using a number line. So using this number line, we can see which one is greater on the number line. Right away, I have whole numbers here. So my number line usually begins with 0. It cannot begin with 0 because these are whole numbers, and in between are decimals. So we're going to actually start with our first whole number, which is 5. And then we need to think, what is the next whole number after 5? We'll just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's in the middle of 5 and 6? Thinking of fractions, yes, 5.5, still 1/2, 5.5 this time. Thinking of decimals, we're going to label them as tenths. So 5 wholes would still be 5 whole with tenths, right? So this would still be 5 and 1/10, 5 and 2/10, 5 and 3/10, 5 and 4/10. The same as a half is 5 and 5/10. Then 5 and 6/10, 5 and 7/10, 5 and 8/10, 5 and 9/10. When I get to 5 and 10/10, it's actually 6 wholes. So I also have hundredths in here, so I'm going to label them as hundreds. And if you can recall, 1/10 is the same as 10 hundredths. 2/10 is the same as 20 hundredths. 3/10, 30 hundredths. 4/10, 40 hundredths. 50 hundredths. 60 hundredths. 70 hundredths. 80 hundredths. 90 hundredths. Now I need to add the decimal places. So for the decimal places, I do need to remember that whole number being with it. So don't forget, this is 5.0. Now this is 5 and 1/10, so it's 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, and 6.0. Where is 5 and 20/100ths? Well, here's 5 and 20. We could do the same for the bottom as well. 5 and 10, 5 and 20. You know that it's all equivalent. But if I look here, the 21 would be right between 5 and 20/100ths. So that's where I'm going to put that Mario flag. Because here's 5 and 21/100ths, right? Where's 5 and 600ths? Oh, well, it's exactly here. Here it is. Here's my little Mario flag there. Which one is closer to 6? That's greater, right? 5.6 is greater because it's closer to 6 wholes. Ahora voy a decirlo en español muy rápido, que lo hicimos igual que lo hicimos con los números 0 y 1. Pero no podemos usar 0 y 1 porque tenemos un número entero aquí. Tenemos 5. So, siempre vamos a poner el 5 aquí, empezando la línea numérica, y vamos a seguir al otro número entero que es 6. En el medio, 6 y medio. Después lo hicimos en fracciones de decimales, después en los números de los decimales. Y pusimos los dos números para ver cuál es más grande o más cerca a 6, porque 6 es más grande que 5. Y vimos que 5 y 6 décimas es más grande. So aquí es más cerca a 6. Or in English, I could say it's closer to 6. So again, two ways that I'm showing 5 and 21/100ths is actually less than 5 and 6/10ths. Thank you for watching the video.